what, we'll find a way. It took a minute, now it didn't happen right away. When it get hot in the kitchen, you decide to stay. That's how it winners made. Stick a fork in the hater on my dinner plate. I walk into the fire like it's just a bit of flame. I switch my style up, watch the money pile up. I'ma get rich with life.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Podcast. My name is Scott Schweitzer. I'm the Clydesdale. He is Jack Rozema, CrossFit Games rookie. So pumped for you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So you competed at the Syndicate Crown. We talked just before you competed down there. And I'm actually going to share a reel that I made about the statement you made before you went in. And it'll kind of set the tone of where we are today.
All right. Sounds good.
So with that, here we go. Boom. Uh-oh.
You got to click the little, yeah, there you go, speaker button.
Be top 15 at the games. I want to place top 15 and then get invited and compete in Rogue in Scotland this year. So those are kind of my goals. I mean, I just look at it as I'm in a good, I'm 28. Like I said, my training last year has been great. That's my goal. I want to go win every event that I'm a part of and just put the best version of my skills and hard work and support system out there and see what happens. And so that being said, I'm of the viewpoint that whether I'm in the West, East, or even Europe this year, it looks the most stacked when you just look at the scores of all the semifinals. Doesn't matter what semifinal in. I'm gonna go to the semifinal. I'm gonna podium at the semifinal or be close enough to it to secure my spot at the games, and it doesn't matter where it is. That's kind of my mindset.
So a lot of people after that made comments that you were pretty confident going in, but it all came true so far.
Yeah, everything except podium, making the podium at semifinals. But
you threw that little or close enough to it.
Yeah. I think that was reflective of I knew I was if I executed the way that I really wanted to, I knew it wouldn't really be I'm scratching, just knocking at the door at the 11th spot. I knew that was probably not going to happen if I executed to the level of what I did in testing, I guess you could say, and just how my body was feeling going into semifinals, and just the preparation, the hard work preparation that's been coming in. It's not so much just random confidence that I got out of nowhere. It's the confidence that I've gotten through a very, very hard year of training and focus. So that was where I came from.
So I think it turned out when all was said and done, your region,
mm-hmm.
probably was the most stacked.
Yeah.
When it came down to semifinal scores as opposed to quarterfinal scores.
Okay.
And I think you up the skill, you up the weight, and the East was probably the most dominant around the world. You go into the weekend and not bad start, but kind of slower, and then you gain momentum as the weekend went on.
Yeah.
Did you see that kind of coming with the events the way they lined up?
I definitely did. I knew Sunday was going to be a good day. I guess I just only know that because of the last two workouts. I knew the snatch ladder, whether it's a lift or a complex, is going to be good for me, or a ladder type thing. And then workout 6, I just knew from testing, just watching. And that was a good part. I think that's what made the East stronger as well. We had 2 weeks of watching the other events, the other semifinals go. But my testing in event 6, I just knew that it was going to be sub 245, probably closer to 230, which I did. Because I knew if I just hit the RPMs on the bike, I knew I can do 15 ring muscle ups unbroken, no problem, even with a high heart rate. And pick up the dumbbells and don't drop them. My grip wasn't even a factor when I tested it. So it was really just those last 2 workouts. I was like, I'm going to top 5 both of those workouts. So just points wise, there's a lot of points right there. So the one I was most nervous about, I would say, is just the handstand walk one, because I knew it was going to come down to just pure execution and handstand walk speed in that. And that's been a problem for me in the past when it comes to just handstand walking next to a lot of elite athletes. That has held me up in the past. So I did not, like you said, get the start I necessarily wanted to. I came out way too hot on the run on workout 1. and just couldn't hold the pace. A few guys passed me that actually did execute it well, and I was like a full minute ahead of them after like the first 2 rounds. So that was, and then my not great finish on workout 2 that we just talked about before we came on, where I was feeling horrible after. I knew that it was possible to be where I finished. I thought I obviously everyone has things that they could have done better afterwards, but I knew that if I was right around 10th going into event 5, it would be solid as long as I executed.
So before we went on the air, you talked that event 2 wrecked you pretty good.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, your shoes came untied.
Yeah.
So one question I ask a lot of the athletes is, you finished the weekend, what did you learn to take with you to the games or take with you into training leading up to the games?
For me, I think I learned even more so that just I have to stick to my strategy and my pacings, and you're not going to be able to test every workout like we did. Obviously, everyone going into semifinals knew exactly how they should pace them. But I still think those first 2 workouts, my first 2 rounds, each workout was 5 rounds. My first 2 rounds were just too fast for my body to hold up and stay at that pace, other than the obvious double knot your shoes and make sure that they're as tight as they possibly can, because that was annoying. But other than that, I mean, it's just what I learned is based on my experience doing events and what my coaches have to say about that event, and how I should pace it. I just really need to stick to that game plan, knowing that even if it's coming out a little slower than I would like to, it's going to end up with a better finish because I stuck to my strategy and I was able to be more in the realm of like a negative split versus coming out hot and then just trying to hang on, which historically didn't go well for me that weekend with the first 2 workouts. So just trusting in the plan and buying into your strategy and your plan.
We've talked before about you being a Mayhem athlete. Who is your specific coach?
I would say Jake Locker is like my actual specific coach. He's who I talk with the most on a one-on-one basis. So Jake is.
So that dude's been to the games a lot with athletes. Mm-hmm. What confidence does it give you that your coach has been there several times leading up to the games?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. Like, I didn't have that initially, like in my first couple years in the sport, because I just never really bought into one specific programming or thought that I necessarily needed a coach, because for one reason or another, I just thought that it wasn't necessary for me at the time. And that probably was the wrong line of thinking. If I would have maybe gotten a coach earlier, maybe just would have been small increments of improvement packed closer together in time. So it's definitely it's a lot of confidence knowing that it's just not you. It's not just you going into it. You got a lot of people in your corner that can see things that you don't, that know and have seen athletes that have similar strengths and weaknesses and tendencies in your shoes in the past, and this is what they did. And it's just if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together type thing. Like I fully believe in that. So for sure.
So that's a great segue to something I want to talk about, but I want to finish up with, what have you noticed difference in the programming now that you're games training? We hear all this like, man, I love games training, or man, games training is really hard. What have you seen as the difference?
It's really not that different. Like I honestly don't see much of a difference other than just maybe like a little bit more total volume across the week. Because you're just getting ready to do 12 to 15 events in a weekend versus 6 events in a weekend. So it's really just getting acclimated to a little bit higher volume and maybe a little bit more odd object stuff, because maybe something like the parallel bars might come into play at the game, something like a flip sled or a pig. And then that now we know for sure that there's going to be a swimming event, which there's not going to be a swimming event in semis. So just those couple of different differences like that come up, but 95% of it is just doing what got you there, continuing to do it a little bit better from just a focus and optimize, like make sure I'm warming up and cooling down and mobilizing and sleeping as much as I possibly can, like just trying to make everything fire on all cylinders, even more so, but it's not changing a whole lot of content itself.
So I think I've told you this before, growing up, I was a swimmer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Swimming and wrestling were in the same season when I grew up.
Yeah.
And if you were a good swimmer, you were a really shitty wrestler, and vice versa.
Yeah.
How is your swimming?
My swimming historically has not been great. So I've been doing a lot of reps, a lot of volume, to change that. Luckily, there's one of the females that just came here to Fort Knox to be on the fitness team as well. She swam at West Point. Her name is Marie Dockin. So having a collegiate level swimmer, like, be able to help me, and we've gone to the pool and a few times and just worked on things and efficiency things and breathing things and just different things like that. So just taking advantage of the resources and friends that I have to get better as much as I can. So I'm looking forward to it. Like, when in the past I would be really apprehensive to do it, but I know now, I'm more confident that now that what it looks like is a run going into the swim, that I can run significantly harder than I would in the past and still feel comfortable to just jump in the water and start swimming. So, well, I'm excited to see how much better I feel even than like Wadapalooza back in January. Because during that swim event, I didn't do very well either. So it's just something I'll keep working on.
What I find interesting about the way this one is lined up, and we don't have a lot of details, but speculation is it's going to be a pretty decent run before you get to the swim.
Yeah.
If you just look at the map of the lake and kind of how it's set up, that's a lot of running before you. Swimming under fatigue is different than swimming.
Yeah.
And I don't think like everybody watching understands that.
Yeah.
Like, when you dive in fresh, it's a different ball game than running 3.5 miles, say, and then jumping in to swim.
For sure.
Do you do anything when you go do pool work where you try to get your heart rate up before you dive in?
Not a whole lot. Just like, I'm kind of limited to that. They don't really let you bring equipment into the pool here at Fort Knox. It's kind of like the only one I have access to. So, I mean, you can do stuff like air squats, a bunch of push-ups and air squats, jumping air squats, something to try to tire your legs out. But luckily, I mean, I'm planning on going to train some more at Mayhem here in July. So I'll undoubtedly do a few run swims that are all outside. So I'll keep doing what I can.
Yeah. That's as a former swimmer, that's my tip. Like, get that heart rate up and learn how to breathe under fatigue in the water. That's the key, because that keeps panic down. And then your stroke doesn't suffer because of it.
Yeah. Will do.
So the other event that's been announced is Chad. Thoughts on that at all?
I mean, not really. Like, I just I'm more so curious now that Dave has also said something essentially saying it's not going to just be Chad straight 1,000 through. There'll be some whatever twist or whatever he said. So like, I'm just more so curious to hear what the twists are and what will make it different. I think it's a terribly boring event to watch, but I think that's kind of the point why Dave programmed it, because he was like, I know that there's going to be this backlash and I kind of like it. So I think he kind of got a little bit out of that programming it in the games. But I think it'll be interesting for sure that it'll be the event on Saturday right before the cuts. So
yeah,
that'll be fun.
And I think Dave has said repeatedly that he likes the mental test that it brings. And when you put it right on the cut day, that's even more mental to it. Yeah. And I think that's just typical Dave. Like, there's a theme to what he wants to accomplish with that workout, and it's going to be high stress, mental struggle. Can you dig deep? Yeah,
and after doing 6, you probably won't be feeling great after doing 6 events already before that. So that'd be different than doing it fresh, but yeah.
So you mentioned earlier about going farther together. Mayhem had a slew. I don't even know if that's the right term. Bigger than slew of athletes at North America East, and a lot of people qualified for Mayhem.
Yep.
What's it like being a part of that team that's having success? And then but in addition, because there were so many, there's a handful on the other side of the cut line as well.
Yeah, it was a little bittersweet in that because I knew Dre, I knew Seth, I knew Tyler, Christopher. We became good friends too. So it's hard to like see that happen, know that, and basically we knew that going in with the few guys that were going to be at the top of non-Mayhem athletes, that we were going to basically steal spots from each other. But I think it's obviously it just speaks to the culture and the quality of the community that they have there, that we're all right there in that space. But I love, I mean, like their faith, family, fitness, service values are what my values are too. So I can't think of just a better place to be affiliated with and be a part of. And so that was always my mindset going into the last season, was I'm going to just fully buy into what they're doing and what they have to offer and see what it does for me individually. And if it works out good, then I know that I made the right decision, which it seems like I did. So it's just it's just a testament to what they have and the kind of people that they attract in that environment.
Yeah. Your heart just breaks for someone like Tyler, who has been at that cut line or whatever you want to call it so many times.
Yeah.
But if anybody digs into faith, it's him. Right. And so that you just pray is what gets him through these times and back at it. But
for
that
sure,
last workout, Boz developed it, and I don't know how much testing was done, but it ate up a lot of people, and some people thrived in it.
Yeah.
And the leaderboard changed a lot in every region based on that dumbbell lunge.
Yeah. No doubt there.
Jake Chapman chimes in. Do you think it'll be cuts during Chad? So like bottom 10 are cut at 250 reps, next 10 at 500, another 10 at 750. I don't know. I don't.
No, I don't think I get it. And I get what he's saying now. No, I don't think I think it'll be just 10 after the whole workout. But
yeah, I think everybody will do the whole work. One, you don't want to embarrass anybody during a workout and like have their game season end.
Yeah.
And the other thing is Dave is very big about like the mistake he keeps quoting is when Tia almost finished a workout in the first round and everybody else went 3 or 4. Yeah. She did 2 minutes of work. Everybody else did 9. That was unfair.
Yeah.
And I think this is in the reverse. The winners would be the ones doing the most work. Why would you penalize the best for making it the furthest?
Yeah. It's an interesting question. Like it's fun to talk about, but yeah, I don't think that's what it'll actually happen.
Yeah. But I have no idea what the twist is. And I think Dave is half of his hints are bogus anyway.
Yeah, for sure. He just likes to stir the pot of get people guessing stuff.
So you got your interview done with Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any nerves or anything about going live with Dave?
No, not really. No, I don't really get nerves like talking like about stuff like that. So it was fun. I never talked to him for that long. I guess I'd seen him a few times here and there. And I think we had a conversation. It was last year at the West, just about the military in general. It was like very short, few minute conversation. So I think it's funny how I don't know if he just has a lot going on and maybe a bad memory when he talks to people, or if it's intentional that he like comes on and acts like it's his first time talking to every single athlete and he knows absolutely nothing about them. But I think it was fun. I think that was funny. But
I think it's authentic. I think like, especially if you run into him at an event, he has so many things going through his mind that like nothing's going to stick. Everything's just going to be a surface conversation. And it doesn't mean he's not genuine in that conversation. I think it's just the capacity to hold in more info is not there.
Yeah. You're probably right.
You know, for him, that's his Super Bowl or, playoff game. And he wants to make sure it's all going as smooth as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm most curious to see what the events on the football field is going to be. Like whether it'll be one event on the field or one event around the track. I just hope that there's something exciting going on there, like a sprint like a sprint or a hurdles that they've had in the past or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope it's exciting. It's prime time on ESPN. It's open to the public so everybody can come in. You want it to be like a rock star event that people can easily follow and be able to cheer for people, right? Like, and understand who's winning, all of that kind of stuff. Early on in the games, like 2010, they had an event where it was like a moderate barbell cycling, and then you had to run a 400. So you'd like go on the field, do your barbell, run around the track once, come back in. And I thought that was really cool back. And that was 2010. Dave loves to throw back, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have it all again. So hopefully it's
yeah, for sure.
But anyways, did you learn anything from Dave? I know some people, I think it was Dallin Pepper said that he watches them with an athlete's perspective just to see if there's like a hint, a tweak, something here and there that you can pick up on.
No, I guess I didn't try to pick up anything like that. No, I was more curious about see if his reaction when I asked him about the swim event. Cause I said, what is the swim event? And he said, you'll just have to wait and see. So I thought he was talking about the event that was released that week that he said was going to be released that ended up being Chad. So I thought when he said that it was going to be the swim event, which it wasn't. So like you said, I think he likes to act more like mysterious and with the clues that actually don't mean anything and they're not actual clues. Like, so I don't really try to like decide one way or another because I don't think I'm going to be right in the end anyway. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think they said last night on the Spin, Austin Hatfield's interview, Austin said he's not good at swimming.
Yeah.
And then Dave said, you're going to love event 1. Well,
did he really?
Swim, like, and that's probably not
that's pretty clear. Yeah.
See, right. So you can only believe part of what he says.
Yeah. And I think maybe he's being more direct as the athlete interviews keep progressing on and it gets closer to the games. Because I think it was it Victoria Campos's interview when he said when Chad was going to be, which wasn't like prior information. And I think it was when he was interviewing her that he was like, it will be event 7 on Saturday. So it's like, I think just as we get closer to the games, he's being more and more direct about what stuff will be.
I think he's getting more relaxed too about, if you don't interview people every day, that's a new skill to learn. And now he's 50 or 60 in.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
He's
I'm sure
he's better at it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So I want to finish up with, in the video we played at the top of the show, you declared you're going for top 15 at the games. Still the goal?
Yeah, I would say so. I feel like that's I don't know, a good number to kind of shoot for your rookie year. So I don't want to go there. I certainly don't want to get cut on Saturday or going into Sunday. So I want to be able to compete the whole weekend and finish strong. And if I do those things, that should be where I end up. If not a little better. So I think I've been taking June and July with a good headspace and a good plan with the people behind me. So I think if all goes well going into the games, then I think that's where I'll end up.
I had a talk with Ariel Lowen yesterday, who was named captain at FitFest in the UK. You have Wodapalooza SoCal now that's doing a North America versus the world. FitFest is doing Europe versus the world. The higher you finish at the games, the more likely these opportunities are going to pop up for things like that.
For sure.
With you still being active duty, would you be able to take advantage? Because you've said you want to go to Rogue Scotland, but then these other things could pop up where you could be on Team North America or Team World and at the UK. Would you be able to take advantage of those opportunities?
I think most likely, yeah, if they did present themselves and it made sense that it was something that I wanted to compete in. I think the situation that I have right now is pretty is pretty good and flexible, and leadership is understanding that like if those events came up, then I would logistically be able to figure it out. Yeah. So, and that's part of it too. Like that's part of that goal to finish high is just present more opportunities for myself to get better in the sport. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Why is it important, Rogue Scotland? Is Scotland a place you've always wanted to go to?
Yeah, I think I've always been like last year I put 100% effort into the Rogue Invitational qualifier because I really wanted to go. They just run an awesome event. And I was like 2 or 3 spots, I think, out of getting invited from the qualifier. So it's just been a goal of mine because they run a great event. Rogue seems to go over the top with everything they do. And then just the added perk of traveling overseas for it. Yeah, for sure. We wanted to get them anyway so that we had them, but I've had my passport for a little bit, but it was kind of just like that little extra push. Like my wife and my daughters, we got them passports like last month, kind of in anticipation. I mean, we want to go like vacation to Mexico eventually and just like other things like that. But it's kind of like put the little more onus on me, even more so to try to qualify for Rogue because it's like, hey, now there's literally nothing stopping us from taking like a family trip there as well. If I qualify, because we got the passports, we're ready to go.
All right. Truly last question.
Right.
Like Fest and SoCal are like exhibitions, right? It's not a competition to like win. How hard is it to go do an event like that and turn off the gas pedal?
So I mean, that's a good question. I've yet to go into a competition where I'm just here to have fun as an exhibition. Like even Wadapalooza the last 2 years, especially this past January, like I was going there, like I tapered a little bit. I guess I didn't like peak for it the same way I did semis, but I definitely wasn't like, this is just an off-season competition. It was like no, I'm traveling from Kentucky to Miami to compete. So I'm not just going to do and spend the whole week there, be away from my girls and everything like that, just to go there and compete for fun. Like I'm always trying to have fun, but it's like I don't know. Like it's still up in the air of whether I'll do an off-season competition like that, like one of the Wadapaloozas or anything like that. So I can't really answer that question. I don't know what it's like to just go there and just wing it, I guess, for lack of a better word.
I think there are other people who can't turn it off either and probably give everything they have even during an exhibition.
Yeah, right. I think that sounds good in theory. Like that's what you're going to do going there. And all the way up to like 3, 2, 1, go, you're not taking it as serious as you would. But then once it actually starts, you're going to give 100% during the workout. So yeah, no, we'll see what the next season holds.
Jan Cook says, Rogue is in my neck of the woods. Stay here for a while. Aberdeen sucks, but Scotland is beautiful.
Aberdeen sucks. I think Scotland, that area, Scotland. My family has a little bit of like Irish roots, so I definitely want to go visit Ireland one day. So I've never been across the Atlantic Ocean, so just anything like that would be a once in a lifetime trip to be able to do. So.
All right. Well, I promised you 30 minutes. We're at the 28 and 20 mark. So,
oh man, good work.
I did it. That is so hard for me, but thank you so much for doing this, Jack.
Of course.
Good luck at the games. I
Thanks.
got my plane ticket. I've got my hotel. I just don't have my media credentials yet, but hopefully those come in the next day or two.
I was going to say, I think that those will, I've seen a little bit about that, just the controversy with that. So hopefully you can get one secured.
Yeah. Well, good luck down there, and hopefully we'll see you in Texas, man.
Yep. Sounds good, bro. Thanks. See you later.
Rest of your day, man.
All right. You too. Bye.